And I think we are good. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the author Andrew Snorton, and you are tuned in to the Fast 15 as we do each and every Wednesday about this time, approximately 1:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes we go on a little bit earlier when technology is working great. Sometimes we go on a little bit later, but yeah, we should be live and direct and all these other wonderful things. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Um, to best enjoy today's live chat or any of the live chats, make sure you're adding me on Facebook at the page Author Andrew Snorton. Make sure you're also adding me on Instagram at Author A Snorton, and we'll go ahead and save it on IGTV, so that way you're able to enjoy. But it looks like I said, we got everything up and running. It was a little bit interesting just getting everything set up because the format was a little bit different from what I was used to. But I see the recording and I see the live, so we're just going to rock and roll with it to the best of our ability. As we always do, before we do our quick 15 or so minute chats, we want to take time to acknowledge people who are doing great and people that are having a difficult time. So I always try to start off with people that might be going through some type of challenge, physical health, mental health, job wise, delays are taking place. There might be some family things going on and a few other things going on. And to varying degrees, there's some things that we've experienced, and there's some things we just haven't experienced yet and don't know what it feels like. To anyone out there that's going through any type of struggle, any type of challenge, as I've said before, and I'll keep saying, it's okay to feel some type of way. You're going to. All of us are human, and we go through the wide range of emotions from good and not so good. By the same token, you owe it to yourself not to stay stuck there. So do the constructive things that you can to get into a better space and place. So even if it's with that informal conversation or getting that informal help with a trusted family member, friend, or loved one, whether it's getting formal help in the form of a counselor, psychologist, psychiatrist, things of that nature, you owe it to yourself not to stay stuck there. So we definitely want you to get through it. And it means you just have a stronger testimony and a stronger story where you can be a resource to other people. So if it's you or someone that seriously is going through some things, um, just weather the storm as best as possible and seek out the help you need so you don't do anything destructive, to yourself, destructive to other people. By the same token, for people that are doing well, we definitely applaud you. Um, keep it moving as positive and productively as possible. Whether it's something job related, you're able to travel someplace you hadn't been before, you got a new car, you have a new place to live, you have a new place of employment, that new project is coming together. Um, any positive thing, because like I'll tell anyone, what you had to work through in order to get to that. So by all means, take a moment or two to smile, step outside, get some fresh air, get a bite to eat, responsibly get something to sip on or whatever. And you owe it to yourself to be able to celebrate a little bit. Don't overdo it, but definitely celebrate and come up for air and just breathe, because what you had to get led through to work, get to that point. And again, let's not forget our colleagues. Let's, as the phrase goes, let's build as we climb. So let's continue to make sure we do that as best as possible. Before we get into our reading for today, couple real quick things. Um, as many people are probably aware of the Derek Chauvin case, um, I want to say it was just a sigh of relief. And, it's unfortunate that things even had to get to that point. There's no need for anyone to use that type of force on anyone who's unarmed, especially for that length of time and resulting in someone's murder. Uh, and some people have made the observation it shouldn't have had to have taken a jury of that makeup and have to have that level of evidence to come up with that type of decision. Some people are saying that we're celebrating something that should have been commonplace, but I think what it comes down to is a number of people have seen cases like this where the evidence shows that there should be some type of action taken and there isn't any action taken. So uh, it is a relief that there's some action taken. We know there's probably going to be some type of challenges that come up, but at least for these initial steps, um, we saw what happened, and hopefully it leads to looking at the need to definitely reconstruct the law enforcement paradigm. I'll just go ahead and say it is long overdue. And as a number of people said, it doesn't make sense when you have a person of a different demographic that can shoot, some cases, punch law enforcement, drag law enforcement in a vehicle, and they're able to get locked up, no bodily harm. And then you saw what happened yesterday, right after the verdict, or when you think about other cases, Laquan McDonald, Eric Garner, I can go back to Eleanor Bumpers and things along those lines, where the level of threat and risk is nowhere near somebody discharging bullets, and people, are either, are unarmed or they're armed with like a spoon and getting greeted with a 21 gun salute. So all I'm going to say on that is hopefully people are encouraged that what can happen, and hopefully there's a continued push to make the constructive changes that really need to be made. They're long overdue. Seriously, they really are. Pivoting a little bit before we get into our reading as a little bridge. Shouts to the folks in Nashville, Tennessee. Had a wonderful time this past weekend in Music City. So shouts to Black College Sports Group 360 for doing a very good job with the Music City Diamond Classic. I was very fortunate to do a book signing at the ballpark on Saturday. Awesome experience, awesome ballpark. So definitely check out the home of the Nashville Sounds. Awesome facility. And then Sunday covering the game between Lane College and Tuskegee University. So shouts to Lane College for a great, first game win. They won that game 10-0 and really sent a message to Tuskegee. And then in the Sunday doubleheader, shouts to Tuskegee for sweeping those two games and their two starting pitchers through 7-inning complete games. So for a doubleheader, instead of playing the full 9, they go 7 innings. And those two gentlemen combined gave up 1 run in two games. And if you go on my Instagram, Author Andrew Snorton, actually have the video interview, really insightful. So shouts to both, HBCUs, shouts to the host foundations, shouts to the, student athletes that really, played hard. They represented their schools well, they represented their families well, and they reminded people what makes our historically Black colleges and universities very special places. So in that theme, we're going to look at the book that was featured, Nothing Minor. Here's the hardcover for the IG folks, the hardcover for the Facebook folks. And I'm going to pull from the 4th chapter when I was covering in Greensboro, North Carolina. And I want to read this section with the interview that I had with Josh Davis, who was in the 2019 season, because I didn't play in 2020, starting outfielder for the Greensboro Grasshoppers, who are the single-A affiliate for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I want to read this. And even with failure, there's perspective. He adds, you're not going to get a hit or home run every time, or as a pitcher, strike every batter out. You're going to go on cold streaks, but the main thing is to stay positive and know that hit or strikeout is going to come. Once you feel it one time, your confidence comes back. And the next thing you know, you're going to play the way you want to play. Now, this is a pretty powerful statement, which was almost 2 years ago. But I want to say, perspective is big. And in this game of baseball, if you're a 300 hitter, that means 70% of the time that you're up at the plate, you're making an out or you're making a mistake. So 30% of the time you're successful, but even at 30% of the time, you can still be considered great. Another thing is going on streaks. There are streaks where everything's working, and there's times where it's far from it. But here's a good thing, and I want to say this, but the main thing is to stay positive and know that hit or strikeout is going to come. So what does this quote in baseball have to do with just general things? Something is going to come. Something you're there, and you've heard it in faith circles. Your breakthrough is coming. Your blessing is coming, and people are like, yeah, right, whatever. But no, there's as you start going through things, there's truth to that. I think about just wearing the author hat. Um, it hasn't always been easy. It's not like automatically you're writing a book or whatever. It takes time. You have ebbs and flows, and you wonder about format and topics and things along those lines, but it's going to come. So since 2017, I've got 3 done, and I've got 4 audiobooks. It's going to come. What's up, Shamari 1906? Hope you're doing well, good sir. So what does that mean? Yeah, there's going to be some setbacks. There's going to be difficulties. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be times you just don't feel it or don't feel like doing anything. Or even going back to yesterday's verdict, people were like, oh, it's not going to happen. But guess what? It did happen. There was something of a breakthrough, and it's not the end all, but it's something to build off of. And think about what Josh was saying. Eventually, even when you're having your cold streaks, your cold spells, even when you have moments of doubt, moments of disagreement, moments of frustration, yeah, those things are going to happen and going to come up. But it comes back to what we said before. You just don't want to stay stuck there. And eventually, whether you shift, you redirect, you channel your energy or whatever, there's something that can come from it. There's something constructive that can come from it, something that you can build off of, something that you can gain momentum from. And in that particular game, I think Josh hit a home run and got a couple, other hits. You think about yesterday, just the relief that people had that finally we have at least a partial breakthrough. And now maybe there's the potential to more with all these different cases. And maybe it's a stronger push or re-energizing people say, hey, let's revisit some of these legal pieces. Let's revisit some of these training pieces. Let's revisit some of these things structure wise that really we need to revisit and see if we can do differently and do better. So it's kind of like we know what happens when you don't try. You might as well make some type of effort. Some effort is better than none. And no effort, you already know what the outcome's going to be. So again, that was from the 4th chapter, Nothing Minor. I'll put this up here again for the Instagrammers and for the Facebook folks. And those were some words of insight from Josh Davis. So a couple things as we gradually get ready to wind down, because we try to keep this at about 15 to 20 minutes. Things that are upcoming. Let's see, a couple of things just to keep on your radar, not only just book related, but in general. Let's see, this Saturday, shouts to the Georgia Spartans. They are a semi-professional basketball team based in Atlanta, the United Men's Basketball League. They are currently undefeated, doing a great job. So they have their next game on Saturday at 1 p.m. So you'll see the info on my IG page and what have you. They're actually a sponsor for the full broadcast show, The Conversation Corner, that I do every second and fourth Wednesday on the Status Network. So shouts to the entire team, the ownership, the league. They're doing some great things. So if you're in Atlanta and you enjoy basketball, check them out. Semi-professional play, $10 a ticket. Like, come on, 10 bones for a ticket. Children 12 and under are free, so make sure to check them out. Shouts to another show sponsor, 1820 Hats. Y'all, if you have not checked out their work, please do so. They have been a loyal sponsor, loyal supporter. So shouts to the team of Kristen and Bianca for 1820 Hats. Check them out. They do men's and women's fedoras. Who knows, you might see me rocking one. Even though I like my Yankees hat, I might end up changing up a little bit. But shouts to 1820 Hats for the awesome work that they're doing. They just dropped another line today, so make sure to check them out at 1820 Hats on IG and 1820 Hats on Facebook. I'm trying to think other stuff coming up. The next full broadcast show, The Conversation Corner, is going to be a week from today, April the 28th. We'll start dropping the guest information this coming weekend. Shouts to the guests from last week's show. Really thankful. Alphas of Atlanta, shouts to them. They've got their Alphas of Atlanta Golf Open coming up on April 30th. So even though the golf tournament is pretty much already sold out, they have a little bit under 100 players, but there's the 19th hole networking event, April 30th from 12 to 4 p.m. So check my IG, as I've already got a clip from last week's show. Shouts to IMD Muse, and Above Art Studios up in Jersey, doing some great work. His clip's already out there. I'll drop the clip for author D.L. Collins, who did a great video drop for me, doing some awesome things. So make sure to check these folks out. I love the support, but part of supporting me is to help support others. So let's go ahead and make those things happen. And I'm trying to see if there's really anything else. I'm just thankful for safe travels this past weekend. I'm thankful to everyone who is supporting me, through the books, the audio books, the full broadcast show, this live chat. Different people have popped on from time to time. Different people have inboxed me, leaving words of encouragement and motivation. So I'm really grateful for that. Like one of the tracks from the audiobook, so maybe I'll play the audiobook next time. Give people their flowers while they're here. So to anybody out there who I've named or haven't named, who has been kind enough to make a purchase, share, this stuff and other stuff, I'm very grateful and really appreciative. So know that your efforts in supporting do not go unrecognized or unnoticed. So thank you all. So as we get ready to wind down and keeping it in about that 15 to 20-minute range, again, to folks who are going through a little bit of a challenge, it is understandable if your emotions are going all over the place. Please do what you can to just pause, breathe, decompress, identify people that you're comfortable with in just decompressing. That's part of the process. And if it calls for you to get any type of formal help, counseling, whatever, please do so. There's no shame in that. For people who are doing well, keep feeding and building off of that. Like this, just keep the success in perspective, but keep building off of it and try to help others along the way, because once upon a time we were that person who was struggling, and we might be that person who's going through a struggle and it takes us a little bit longer. So please don't forget any of our folks. And I'll just say this, whether slow or swift, movement is movement. As long as you're moving, it's an opportunity. So keep it moving, definitely. And whether small or big, a gain is a gain and a victory is a victory. Might not be on this level, but you'd rather be on this level than no level at all. So stay encouraged, stay motivated, take time to pause and breathe. It's okay to take times to pause, breathe, rest, which is what we're doing here, and then get your energy and your mind and your focus back and do what you are capable of doing. And I'll close out on this. Be grateful for the gifts and talents that you've recognized, but just know that there's still more in you. So on that note, for those of you that are following on Facebook, thank you so much. You guys take good care. So for the Facebook folks, we are going to get off of live. So we're going to stop the live stream. So take care for those of you on Facebook. And for those of you on the gram, make sure to go ahead and share this. We'll have this uploaded real soon. And I know I got to catch up on uploading this to YouTube. So I'll be getting some work done this weekend. But you guys take it. Join me each and every Wednesday about 1:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Fast 15. Add me on Facebook at Author Andrew Snorton and Instagram at Author A Snorton. And add Author A Snorton on YouTube for full replays. We'll see you.